Hey, we're live and it's Monday night. Hi, everybody. Let's see who all is here. Well, this Cactus Deb is here from a very hot Glendale, Arizona. When I talked to Deb earlier, she said they were expecting 115 today. And that's hot. I don't care how dry the heat is, it's hot. Hi, hi, Joey. It's hot in Southern California as well. And Linda's here from Ravenna, New York. Ah, yeah, I agree with you, Linda. I don't want it over 75 or 80 degrees. And Jean from Mount Vernon, Washington. Now, Jean says she has been looking forward to this as it has been on her wish list for some time. Well, Jean, I hope we don't disappoint this evening, okay? Oh, Linda, my Michigander buddy is here. Hello. And Carla is here from Oklahoma City, where it's just in the upper 80s. So it is good. Pam is here from Maine. Welcome. And hello, Lisa from Sugarland, Texas. Celeste is here from Peoria, Illinois. And Becky Benton from Indiana. Welcome. Maureen is here from Kansas. Oh my goodness, you guys, it's hot all over the country today. There's no doubt about it. It's warm here, but not anywhere near as warm as what it sounds like you guys are getting. So you know what? I'll take it. And Tippy came up to let her presence be known here. Oh, quite a girl. Okay, that's enough. And Linda Chaffee is here from Rhode Island. Welcome, Linda. So, what we're going to do tonight is we are going to take a look at DM Quilting's coils. On the the even dates, Monday nights, I will be doing the DM quilting templates. And then, of course, we'll stay with our usual Tuesday and Wednesday. These are unique templates. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I first took them out and looked at them, I couldn't figure them out. Hi, Jan. Jan is here from Bend, Oregon, and Lee has joined us from New Jersey. Welcome. So, anyway, after doing a little bit of checking, I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see the whole template. There we go. Make sure we got the adjustment set right on the focus. Okay, so here's what we find when we look at these templates, and this is universal to all of them. What you're going to have is this beautiful there we go, this beautiful little square right here. And that square is going to keep us exactly where we need to be. Now this is 4.5 inches. So it would follow that the square is 4.5 inches as well. And I'm reaching for a ruler here, but just not having much luck. I'm making a mess. Okay, let's put this back. Okay, so what I did was I took out my little ruler, and sure enough, it's 4.5 inches. And if we look at the square this way, it is also 4.5 inches. So what that means is when I started doing my drawing, I made 4.5 inch. I'm sorry. I made 4.5 inch grid. And then I cut it in half vertically and in half horizontally. So what that did was that gave me these lines to go by here and here. Now, these also have the diagonal lines as well. So we've got plenty of markings here. And as I said, this is universal for every size. We have the 4.5 inch, which is the one we're going to use tonight. We have got a 5 inch, which has a 5 inch square here. We have a 5.5 inch, again, 5.5 inch square, and we have a 6 inch. Now, what you're going to probably notice is these templates have a lot of give to them right here. We're going to address that as we move along, okay? In the bigger ones, it doesn't have quite as much give if you look like this, whereas the smaller ones have quite a bit of give back and forth. So we're going to show you how to hold these and hopefully keep yourself from having a lot of because we're traveling on these. So it's going to hopefully give yourself a lot of successful traveling. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these guys off to the side. Okay, let's take a look at Donna's sheet here. Donna's sheet has the square alignment reference, thread slot. Yes, I absolutely love thread slots. And then, of course, our stitching points. We have the start and stop location or start and stop location. And then, of course, we have all of our alignment lines. And Donna gives us a couple of different ways that we can use these templates on the package. And I'm going to go ahead and set that off to the side now. Okay. So what you're going to see when I did this, I got to tell you guys, I had epic fails before I finally got a success on here. But it works and it's cool. And once you get it, it's easy. Okay. First one we're going to do is we're just going to do a straight line and then we're going to make a horizontal line to go in and we're going to follow that. Okay. Now let's take a look. Donna's here from North Carolina. Hi, Donna. And Lori, another Michigander buddy. Love it. Robin Maddox from a warm New Hampshire. And Jan made it. Yay. And yes, you are right, Jan. This is interesting. Okay. So the key is to follow the templates. Oh, goodness. You'd be surprised. I just dropped something. Okay. So let's follow the template. I'm going to go ahead and make move some things around here. And what you're going to see is I do already have some stitched in. Now, if you do not want to travel, you don't have to. You can break thread on these. It tends to get a little dicey if you want to break thread on every single coil. Okay. I don't know if I'm willing to do that. Okay, there we go. Because you can travel back and forth on this. So what I'm showing you here is the basic line, horizontal line of the coils in a row. And then what I'm showing you here is that I went in on the second row and offset it, kind of nested it together. Now, if I wanted to, and I think it'd be pretty cool if we did it this way, we could actually come down and have this curve come in right here. If we have time, we will try to do that. But first, I just want to show you the basic design that we can make with these. You do want stable tape on both sides of this template, okay? And what I'm going to do is I am going to line up. I know I'm starting in the middle of a row, but I'm going to show you how to get, well, let's do that first. I'm going to show you how to get started, okay? And that includes this tail right here. All right, let's make sure we've got you really nice and easy to see. Okay, so what I'm going to line up is I am going to line up my square and I am going to line it on my bottom line, which just grazes the line of the row before it. I have the bottom line for this row plus the middle line for this row. For this 4.5-inch template, that's going to be 2.25 inches. Half of 4.5 is 2.25. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. I forgot to change my thread, guys. I want to have a nice bright thread so that you can see what I am doing. That is so important. So we're going to we're going to do Packer colors tonight, okay? Green and gold. All right. Our quarterback for the Green Bay Packers got married yesterday. Not that anybody cares, but just a little piece of trivia for you. All right, here we go. I'm going to turn on the light and we're all going to get blinded out here for a second while I go ahead and thread my needle. I apologize, I didn't have this ready. I was doing several things today. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so here we go again. And you'll notice that my practice panel tonight is a lot bigger than I usually have. Okay. There we go. Oh, no, bumped it. All right. Leah's here. Welcome, Leah. Oh no, Ronnie is here. That's a good thing. Hi, Kathleen. Good evening. Welcome. And Ronnie said they've got forest fires close by, just 70 miles southwest of them. Please say prayers that the fires do not get any closer than that. Okay? Definitely. Karen is here. Finally. Welcome, Karen. And Diane is here from a sweltering Chicago. Yeah, I can imagine it's warm down there, but welcome anyway. All right. I'm going to go ahead. I think turning this light. Yeah, that's much better. So again, I am lining up my reference line here, and that's going to set me exactly where I need to be on my line. The lines I drew are 2.25 inches apart. And the reason I've drawn them at 2.25 inches apart is because our template is 4.5 inches apart. And we want the line on the bottom and at the center. So this is how we're going to start out. All right, I'm going to take that one stitch in place. There we go. Foot popped up already. And we are going to come up and we are going to stop at B with our needle down. There we go. Remember not to move your template until your needle is down. And preferably don't even take your hands off the template until the needle is down as well. It will just set you up for success. Okay, I'm going to go ahead take this out. So here is our leading edge here. Could we put a half a coil in here if we wanted to? Yeah, we could. Absolutely, we could. It would be fun to try. It would be fun to do that. And maybe we'll, yeah, I'm beginning to think after all the things I've learned how to do coils that we're going to be here doing them more than one time. Not only that, that's just fun. Okay, what I want to do is I want to leave this in the orientation that I have all the others in, and this is not it. Okay. If I want to keep my center going this way, what I have to do, and you could turn this around a multitude of different ways. Okay. And this is not it. This is not it. This is it. Okay. So the way I have it is upside down and backwards. Okay. Um, Once you get started, I'm obviously trying to match this. But once you get started, it's going to be relatively easy because what's going to happen is just going to be moving across here. So you are not going to be changing the orientation of the template. Okay. Now remember I said this is kind of wobbly. You see how wobbly it is? Which I don't recommend you doing that on purpose like I just did because it's acrylic. It can break. Okay. I am lining up here and lining up here. So I'm lining up the bottom of my reference line and the center. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my hand right on all of these coils. I'm going to stick with, and somebody's going to ask this. I know they are. Do you have to go one side or another? Okay. Technically, no, you do not have to take one side or another. However, with that being said, I found it easier to stick with one side. When I didn't, I was getting, I want to show you this. Okay. I'll take it again. When I didn't, I would get these little wobbles here. Okay. And personally, I didn't like those little wobbles. This template is going to take some practice. It's not a template that you're going to put on and be able to do perfectly the first time. And if you can, you're a better man than me. Okay, here we go. We are all set up. Now, I am going to go ahead and come in and come back out and end up over here. I'm going to lay my hand on the coil, take that stitch in place to get going, keeping my stitches rather small because, of course, this is a circle, kind of. And now I'm going to move my hand around here. Take your time. You don't need to hold the template for dear life. The template's going to do fine. You just need to hold it so that it doesn't move. And as you can see, I'm moving my hands a lot. I found moving your hands often really helped. And you'll see I got a little wobble here. Not concerned about that. I'm keeping my foot to the outside. Even though you technically don't have to, I still found it a little easier for me if I did it that way. Here we go. Beautiful curve, nice and gentle. Now we're going to come into A. Now, if in fact you're OCD, which I'm not, you may want to break thread here, come back here, and come around. You don't have to do that. We can travel. We can travel. And what's happening here is I got somehow or another what you're going to see. And this is the problem that I did have. I got really close over here. And I think it's probably because in my trying to keep this coil straight, I moved it a little bit. So how do we remedy that? I'm going to show you right now. Kind of glad that happened because it's very possible that it will. Okay, you can see I was off there just a little bit. Take your time. Okay. I'm going to move my hand again. You see how much wiggle room this has here. Somebody is probably thinking to themselves, she doesn't really stitch that slow. The answer is yes, actually, I do. I am a very slow stitcher. I'm also a slow eater. Actually, I've been known to do a lot of things slowly. Okay, and I got a little wobble right there. Not going to worry about it. Just remember too that when I'm doing this for you guys, I'm using a really high contrast thread against the fabric because I want you to see everything I do, the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? I think it's important for you to see that even though, I'm an instructor, I'm not perfect. We sometimes have difficulty with certain things. Okay, gonna move it around here. Hold on to that coil. Now remember, yeah, I don't have a death grip on it. My hand is just basically just resting on top of it. I came up with that realization that if our hands are relaxed, stitching different shapes is actually easier. Circles is one thing that I always kind of small circles, the 1/4 inch, the 1/2 inch. And that's something that I've kind of always struggled with is those small circles. And I had an instance where I was very, very tired. I haven't been feeling well, which you all know. Um, and I just didn't have a whole lot of strength that day. And I still, of course, stitched. When I put my hands down, I didn't have the energy to put a lot of pressure on them. And so I just kind of laid them on top of the template. And those were the nicest small circles I had ever made in my life. So I started checking this out and I started experimenting. And I have come to the conclusion that if you just lay your hands on top of the templates, just enough to keep them in place, your stitching is going to actually, I think, improve. I know mine did. Okay, so here we go. And that is our first coil. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to keep going in the same direction. What that's going to do is it's going to give us identical coils all the way across. So let's do one more. Mm, there we go. This is where it's really important to not push the foot against the template or the template against the foot. You want to be very cognizant of that. Smaller stitches because we're going in an arc. And an arc, a circle is an arc. So I use the word arc generically, I guess. I use it for everything that is circular. A lot of moving of my hands. And trying to make sure that I keep everything equal. I don't push on that template. And what you're going to see here is I was much more successful in not pushing that template aside. The more that you work with the templates, the easier they become. We're going to come into the center, and this time what I'm going to do is show you how you would break thread and start at the beginning again, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my template in place. I'm going to grab my scissors, and this is a practice piece, so I'm just going to cut the threads, okay? Not going to bury them or do anything else. So now what I'm going to do is come back to where the previous coil met the coil that I just started on this rotation. We're going to go ahead and you want to smush it. You might have to smush it a little bit, stretch it a little bit, but that's okay. Remember, each time we take a stitch, we're drawing up that fabric just a little bit, so it does change a little bit. Okay, there we go. Going to go ahead and put my foot down. There it is. Now I'm going to lay my hands on top of here. I've got both of my threads up on top. And what that's going to do is that's going to eliminate any nasty, ugly thread nests under our work on the back side of our quilt. And let's get that down there. Come on, guys. And now I'm just going to come over and end at B. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take it out. I want you to notice the difference in the weight of thread. And that is the only difference. So, out of curiosity, Why don't you guys tell me which way you think you would prefer to do it? Would you prefer to go ahead and break thread at the center? That's the only place you have to break thread is at the center of each one, and then come back here and finish coming around. Then we would move our template over and start our next rotation. This one, we just came in here, then we moved our template on, we came all the way into the center and all the way back out. And here we just kept on going and came up to this line. This line right here is the same as this right here. Okay, so let's take a look and see if we've got any questions or where we're at. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. We have got a lot of people came in since I was on here. Um, Bonnie is here from a hot Green Bay, Wisconsin. Bonnie is about an hour and a half south of me. And it's warm here too, but probably not as warm as she is. It's kind of weird because whenever I look at their weather, they're about 10 degrees difference than we are. And Pat is here from Denver. Good afternoon. Oh, Lee says, don't push against the template. You are so right. Oh, Rena, you missed your notification. I'm so sorry. I am, but I'm glad you're here now. Oh, the faster the wobblier, Kathleen said. And you know what, Kathleen? You're absolutely right. Slowing down is perfect. Oh, Joey, goodbye. We'll see you later. Oh, yes, Regina. Hi, my friend. Yes, I am doing the coils tonight. Celeste. Okay, Celeste, this is really good one. Celeste says, I don't know how you can go that slow. That is a lot of control. And Celeste, the more you practice, the more control you'll have. Trust me on that one. And quite honestly, I'm not here to tell you whether you should stitch slow or stitch fast. What you should do is stitch at a speed you're comfortable with. And if it's not the same as mine, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just what I have found in my experience. Okay. And it's easy for me to share my experiences. And mine may not be the same as yours, and that's okay. That's okay. I have never been a my way or highway gal. Okay, never. Hi, Kelly's here from Arizona too. I'll bet you're hot as well. Okay. Oh, yes, the deal day 20. I am sorry. Here we go. I did put I did put the link up here earlier. Actually, I will put it in again. Okay. Now, Anne says hello from the great state of Texas. Love Texas. Absolutely love Texas. Welcome, Anne. We always welcome Texans. Sue said she missed the beginning. Is there a way to go back and see what I missed? Absolutely, Sue. You can go to 906 Quilting Services YouTube channel or to the So Steady YouTube channel, and you will see this recording of this class after we're finished. Okay? You can look at it over and over and over and over again. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of them that I do look over again, not necessarily mine, other instructors. Vonnie says she is a slower sewer. Say that 3 times real fast. Some of her students think it's a race. And Vonnie, that definitely happens. It really does. And if they can control it, let them. I mean, everybody is different. Betty's here from Oregon. Welcome, Betty. So happy to see you. So this is just the basic. That is the basic coil. And again, here what I did, and we're going to go ahead and do just one over here because I really want to show you this, nesting these together. Okay. So what I did is instead of starting with this swoosh, I think that's a good name for it. I started right with the full coil, and that offset the coils to make, I think, a really nice edge to edge design. So I promised you I was going to try to put one below the other or nest it into the other. So let me grab a ruler. I'm going to go ahead and make some new markings here. I am going to come down. Let's do a 1/2 inch. Okay, we're going to come down a 1/2 inch here. Now, if we bring this line down a 1/2 inch, we need to bring this line down a 1/2 inch as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, this is going to be independent of these guys that are already stitched over here, just so you know, because they're not going to match up because we've come down. So 2¼ inches from here to here. We don't have to put the top one on un unless or until we decide that we're going to be actually stitching them. So what my goal is here is to see this part of the design is going to come down and it's going to nest right into that design. So let's give her a shot and see how it looks. Okay. Mhm. I always have to do this a couple of times to make sure that I get it right. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, this is gonna work out good. Okay, so because I'm nesting this, I don't necessarily want it to be exactly halfway because if you look, if it's there, we want it halfway between these 2 points right here, here and here. So this is where we want it halfway. And I'm just going to eyeball it, okay? That looks really close. We're going to come over this one. Don't worry about that. This is a practice square. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the middle and come out because I can. Don't you love it when you can do something fun? I know I do. Okay, down it's going to go. Make sure everything is nice and straight. We're going to hold that coil nice and steady. Taking my one stitch in place. Y'all know why I do that. And here we go. Now, I'm going to snip that off so it's not in my way. There we go. Perfect. And start out slow. Get your speed to a comfortable spot. And I just move my temp a little bit. There we go. And around we're going to go. Now, be careful when you get to this point. This thing hurts when it hits your finger if it's going fast. I don't go fast enough to make it hurt my finger. Okay, here we go. And we're coming around the mountain here. A lot of moving of your hands, keeping that template nice and steady. Once we get out here, it's not as much of a problem. There we go. Okay, almost there. And that's exactly where we want that lowest part to be, halfway between the coils that are underneath it. And now we're going to come up and stop at B. Needle down. And you see how nicely that that kind of it nests itself in there so that everything is spaced approximately the same. So now what we're going to do the next coil is we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put our template on and we're going to do the same thing. What time is it? Okay, I got time to do part of this, okay? And that's all I'm going to do is just a little bit of it. Because I have some other things I really want to show you. But I do want you to see how nicely this nests together. There we go. Isn't that cool? I'm really liking that. I really am. Like I said, the more I play with these coils, the more I like them. Okay. Now, all right. So the hooligans were here, but they took off. Who knows where they went? Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is your basic coil. And as you can see, this is the smallest one at 4.5 inches. So I'm serious. You could really knock out a lap quilt probably in one day with a larger coil. I mean, these things go fast. They really do. Okay, check for questions. Then we're going to go on to the next thing that I have for you. Let's see where we're at. Okay, Regina says she loves this as an edge to edge. And Regina, you're right. Okay, sorry about that. We have had some killer storms here today, and there's another one moving in right now. That's why the dogs are going crazy. They do not like the thunder. I'm going to need to settle them down here just a second. Okay, there we go. Hopefully we won't lose internet. I don't think we will, but it's really weird to see these storms move in while the sun is shining. Have you been getting these down south, Bonnie? Oh, yeah, it's really okay, Becky. So nice for you to stop in. I really appreciate it. Oh, Ronnie, here's the helicopters flying overhead, throwing their bombing water on the fire. Patricia's here late from Minnesota, but she says she hopes to watch us later again, and you certainly can. Yeah, Ronnie, we need rain out there. Definitely, you need rain. Definitely. Uh, so Lee says she's got thunder and sunshine and no rain. Um, I hope you get some rain, Lee. Every place is so dry this year. Oh my goodness, including me. What can I say? Okay, let's take a look at another thing that I want to show you. Okay, so what you can do is you can flip how the direction that you're doing each time. It really doesn't change a whole lot other than you can see that they're going in different directions. And that's really not hard to do. I think I did it by accident. But what I did here was if you take a look at these guys, this looks like a handlebar mustache. So let me show you how to make a handlebar mustache, okay? Okay, I'm gonna have a dog on my lap here in about 2 seconds because he is petrified of thunder. Okay, here we go. Um, we can turn these templates pretty much any way we want, and that's what we're going to do on this one. We're gonna start out with B over here to the right. I'm gonna go ahead and start in the center, and then we're gonna come out just like we did on the last one. And to make this easier for you to see, I'm going to go ahead. Oops. There we go. Hi. Yes, you're exactly right, Carla. Better in the daylight than in the dark. I agree. I just feel bad for these guys. They don't understand it. Okay. Got the mustache I want to show you, and then one other way of doing the coils that I think is so darn pretty. Just pretty. Okay. So here we go. Take this stitch or two in place, and now we're going to head out. I'm going to go ahead and snip this thread off and get it out of the way. All right, here we go. You can get into your perfect place here while you're stitching. Plug in an audiobook. Put on some really loud rock and roll. I tend to shy away from the television set because you have to look up. You could go to your favorite playlist on your YouTube channel. And get in your zone. That's what I love most about ruler quilting. When I'm doing it, I'm in my happy place. I love quilting, and I love being able to finish my projects myself instead of sending them to a long armor. And it doesn't mean I have anything against long armors. I honestly don't. I just love to be able to go from start to finish with my projects. With the suspension system, it helps to take all the weight of the quilt off of your table, and it makes it so much easier to quilt than what we had before. You all know that I work on a Singer 301, which is a vintage machine from the 50s, has a 7-inch throat. And I did a queen size quilt on here. Would I advise it? Yeah, probably not. I think if I was to do another queen size quilt, I probably would do it on my bigger machine. I do have a bigger machine. Okay, so now I've come in this direction. So what I'm going to do, this is the orientation I had my coil in. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put my needle back in here and come down here. And we're going to make another rotation. Now remember, if you want, you can break thread and have a single line of stitching here. Quite honestly, if I was doing a quilt that I was giving away or a quilt that was going to be judged, which you all know I don't do quilts for judging, I would definitely always break that thread. If it's a practice quilt, one that's going to go to the local animal shelter, I probably wouldn't break thread. I'd go ahead and travel over it. And that's twofold. One thing it does is it gives me practice traveling because we can't get good at anything unless we practice it, right? And you see how many times I'm stopping. I'm just stopping every few inches. It feels like it's taking a long time, but it really isn't. And if you use a larger template, it's going to go a lot faster. I really apologize for the barking that's going on here. These guys do not like this thunder. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this coil up. Almost there, guys. Casey, come here, Casey. And around we go. We're going to stop right in the center here. Okay. Now, for this particular design, you definitely want to go ahead and break thread because these two rotations stand independent. And this is what I mean by they stand independent. Um, you know, I wonder, I'm going to try something. If we came back to here, Casey, stop it. Sorry. And we came back up here, and then we go around. Yeah, we could join them. Definitely could join them. Casey, come here. Oh, this is serious. He didn't want a treat. Casey, I better let him downstairs with his brother. I think that's part of what's got him upset. They're separated. And they do not like being separated. Okay. I'm going to try this one time and let's see. I think this is going to work, guys. I really do. I think it'll be perfect. Now, it may look lopsided, but that is the way that the design would be is set up. It's going to look, because you're going to have two close together and then two further apart, but it won't be lopsided because it's going to continue on that way all the way across your quilts. Got a little wiggle there. You know what? If I'm going to have wiggles, this is where I want to have them. This would be in my practice sessions, right? The practicing is where we learn our successes and our opportunities for improvement. I will not say it's a failure. It's never a failure if we're practicing. There we go. Let's continue around here. And you'll see I got a wobble here. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and stitch it where it should be. And then what I'm going to do later on is I can come in there and just pick that wobble out. And quite honestly, nobody will be the wiser. There we go. So tell me, what do you guys think? Do you think this is so easy? Um, an easy template to do? Is it one that looks inviting? And there we come. Man, this is crazy. The thunder is just horrendous and the sun is shining. And over to B. Okay, let's check this out. There we go. I like it. I really do. I like having it meet there. I think it looks like that's the way it's supposed to be. So we're going to flip that template over and we're going to go ahead and make the other half of the mustache now. Okay. I won't do the whole thing. I'll just do a portion of it because we're starting to run short on time here. So I'm just going to come up this far. There we go. And I saved my favorite for last, you guys. Okay. Look at, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's They're independent, but they can be put together. Let's see where we're at. Okay. Okay, Jan asks, do you have to hug one side or the other of the channel with a foot as you're going around, or is it centered? It's pretty much centered, Jan. It really is. Um, yeah, you know what? It's good. It's good. I still like to kind of hug one side, but it really does not matter. Okay. Let's go. Regina asked the same question. It's pretty much a tight template, Regina. So you'll be good here. Okay. Kathleen is having thunderstorms there too. Lee, you don't hear the barking? Oh my gosh. Bonnie can't hear it either. Oh, the auto is not picking up the dogs. I am so glad to hear that. Betty says, I like that design. I'm really glad Mary Lou Irish is a little bit late. She'll have to watch later. And yeah, poor puppies. I do feel bad for them because if I know something's coming, I give them medicine so that they don't go crazy. Oh, Betty, if you order the template this week and you use the coupon code deal day 20, you will get 20% off of the templates. Okay. And just kind of a reminder to everybody, I really, for me, it's important you try to purchase your templates from a local quilt shop. Most of the local quilt shops are small business and they really need us to patronize them. Okay. Patronize them, not patronize. And, if you can't find them, you can always get a hold of me and I can help you order them too. That's not a problem, okay? Donna says she's got the two larger sizes, the 5 or the 5.5 size. Lab size quilt. She's going to do the entire quilt with this. Donna, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Vanna's here from Oklahoma. Welcome. Okay, Linda says okay, this I knew somebody was gonna bring this up, okay? Love it, but think I might have trouble backtracking because of the flexibility of the templates. Linda, I thought the same thing as I started doing them because of the fact that they are so flexible. But what you saw me doing with my hand was keeping them stable. And if you hold your templates with a light touch, and don't ask why this happens, the light touch is less likely to push against the side of the template with your foot. Just remember, we never want to push against the template with the foot or against the foot with the template. If you can master that skill, you will be successful each and every time, Linda. Okay. Lisa, she thinks she'll break threads. Lori says it looks nice, but she doesn't want it. And that's okay. We all have different tastes. And I am okay with that, Lori. What is the distance in the lines of the grid? Okay. So what I have here. Hi, Judy. Good to see you. You guys having bad storms down there? I know I asked Vonnie. Judy is not too far from us either. She is in Greenleaf, Wisconsin. Okay, Regina, let's go through this math one more time because it is important. It really is. What I've got here is a 4.5 inch design. Donna did this right. She put a 4.5 inch box here. And this design is going to fit in this 4.5 inch box. So what I've done is I have got my bottom line that I'm going to set the template on right here. and that's at the 4.5-inch line here. And then I want another line because I want to keep my template lined up halfway. It's too easy to get a little cattywampus, and especially because I tend to be dizzy anyway. So I need all the help I can get. Okay. And then I put the line up on the top. So from here to here, make sure we're in frame here. From here to here is 4.5 inches. From here to here is half of that, or 2.25 inches. From the center to the top is again half of the 4.5, or 2.25 inches. I originally, when I did my practicing on paper, you see I set up this fancy grid. I didn't need it. Okay. I was overachieving that day. I really just did not need it. All I needed as I started stitching these out was the bottom line where I want the bottom of my design to be. For this particular template, I went up 2.25 inches for my halfway mark, and I went up 2.25 inches for the top of the design, 4.5 inches total. All right, does that help answer your question, Regina? Lori is fascinated watching. Oh, you know what? Lisa brings up a good point here. And it's something that we do have to be aware of. She said she would imagine that the high shank and long arm size templates, since they are thicker, might be less flexible in the center. I think you may be onto something there, Lisa. However, it won't work on my machine. I have to have the low shank. So I've got to have what I can use. I'm okay with it. It is what it is. I'm just going to be careful. Now, I'm going to show you guys how to go in and come out a whole lot easier than traveling. Okay. And it is going to give you guys an awesome secondary design. You ready for this one? Had to wet my whistle there. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to start it exactly the same way. I'm going to come up here. I'm lining my lines up. Here's my bottom line, 2.25 inches for my center line and 2.25 inches for my top line. And here we go. Let's bring that thread up. I know I'm running late again, guys. Yeah, I think you know me by now. It's going to run late every week, every live. I can't stop once I get started. What can I say? Oh, all right. There we go. Let's put it in this orientation so you can see better. All right. Stitch in place. Every time I say that, I think of that school teacher who says, pencils away. Uh, she is so cute. I don't know who she is, but man alive, she's really making a name for herself with her joke of the day. Okay, so here we've come up. Now we need to move our template over this way. And we're going to realign it. We're going to come in to the center. Okay. Now, I'm going to hold it here for now, just holding these ribs so that they stay nice and stable. But I'm not pushing hard on them. I just am laying my hands on them, literally, guys. Time to move them. I'm going to move them down here. Move them back up here. A lot of moving. Think of it as exercise for your hands. Move it again. I'm going to go ahead and stabilize it again. And again, I'm going to move it. Well, I think that's one of the nicest ones I've done. And stop. Needle down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. All the way around. Okay. And now I'm going to I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put it back in. All the way around. This is kind of fun, actually. Okay. Line it back up. Here we go. Oh, nuts. I hate it when that folds over like that. You know what the advantage to this one is? Very little traveling. Okay. I'm going to move my hands around. Okay. And I'm going to come back here and meet this one. Whoops, I slipped. No worries. Just going to go ahead. Look at that. We got it right back where it needs to be. And we're going to come back over here. We're going to stop here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take it out. Now I'm going to turn it this way again. Okay. And come over here. And we're going to keep going in that direction. Okay. We're pretty much out of time, but I want you to see this. Yes, this is awesome. You don't have to worry about traveling. Isn't that cool? I see a heart right here. Just a nice little heart. Okay, let's see where we get. I could see making a snail. Oh, Lori, you're absolutely right. Oh, no worries. Lisa, she has nowhere to go and enjoying watching, so no worries. I'm so happy to hear that, Lee. Oh, let's see. Lori says, I can see this making a snail. I think you're right, Lori. Okay, let's see. Maureen says, if you were to line up using diagonal lines on the template as horizontal and vertical, rotate the template, start at B, would that make make two closer together? That's a good question. So what you're asking is if I were to line up this way as opposed to this way. Okay. You know, that really is a good question. I'm gonna have to play with that. Okay, because we would come in and come out. We would end up here, but I think what we would have to do, because we'd start the next one here still, we would still have to go ahead and move it so that we come up to the to this point and then place it in, and we can definitely place it on the diagonal again. Um, I don't think it will make them closer together though. Okay. I think you're still going to have that one area that meets, but you're going to be going in this orientation instead. So it's going to look kind of like it's leaning. Um, I think that's a good one. I'm going to have to try that. Okay. Thank you, Maureen, for bringing that up. That's awesome. Ah, you guys, I'm so happy that you like what I'm showing you. I'm going to be honest. Oh, Maureen, having the tails meet. I think that's a great idea. And I think that would work. Yes, definitely. Definitely. You know, you guys are really, really, you have a great imagination. And I appreciate so much that you take part of your day out to be with me, right? It just means so much to me. It really does. So I'm going to go ahead and put that Deal Day 20 link in here for the templates today. I am going to tomorrow night, we're going to be doing the coral fern. Kind of excited about that one. I haven't played with the coral fern a lot, but I've done a few things that are kind of fun. Well, Regina, thank you. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. It really does. Remember, Lee's excited for that one. Remember, you can always watch the replay. You can go 906 Quilting Services YouTube channel or the So Steady YouTube channel. You'll have the video there indefinitely. Sadly, Facebook takes it off in 30 days. Just so you're aware. Again, remember to please patronize your local quilt shop. Um, they really appreciate your business. I was a small business owner, had a small quilt shop myself, and every sale that came through my quilt shop just helped me keep the doors open. So that is important to those people who own those quilt shops. If, however, you don't have an easy time finding it, you can always get a hold of me. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. So tomorrow, Coral Fern, Wednesday morning with coffee, we're going to have Spin Effects 5. Wednesday afternoon, I am going to be on with Stacy at 3 o'clock Central Time. We're going to be showing you a preview of the garden flag that I came up with for our third quarter box. So I think that's a lot going on this week, guys. And again, thank you so much for spending your time with me. Regina, this will stay on YouTube into perpetuity. Yes. These will not go away unless we make them go away. Oh, Lisa, so you know if they ship the boxes out yet? You know what? I keep waiting every day. I'm anxiously running to my mailbox to see. I am under the impression they mailed them out. Um, I'm not really sure when Mr. Mailman is going to bring them. Uh, no, excuse me. So I'm going to keep watching. Keep watching. I'll try and get a call into them tomorrow so that I can tell you tomorrow evening during the live. Okay. So thank you so much for being here. And until we meet again, let's quilt.